Quantum Geek. This is a real play, actual play podcast where we play a variety of different games, or at least we're going to eventually. Right now, we're doing the Offworlders RPG system. Um, but yes, our two players are playing two characters that currently are not in their actual bodies. One is named Luke. Luke, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, yeah, I'm Landon.
And the other is Sam.
And I am playing Sam. I'm Will.
And currently, they are both in different bodies. One is in the body of Ensign Sandra Rhodes. That would be Sam. The other is
Yep.
in the body of Deanna Troy. So, Deanna Troy just beamed down to the planet. And we're going to go ahead and start with her. Because she was beamed down with she was beamed down to Lieutenant Yar.
I would say she was beamed to Lieutenant Yar. So that
Mhm.
yeah, because it was gonna be she was gonna be talking with our creeper guy.
I do love
I
that.
keep calling him creeper guy. He's really not a creeper in the show. He's not a good person, but he's really not a creeper in the show. It's just the image that I got of him just was such a creeper image.
Well, I will say this. He is, I guess the best way to put it is an antagonist. He is the I guess the bad guy.
I mean, it's there's
Kind of.
this particular episode has many different layers.
Yes. It
I
starts there.
yeah,
Welcome to Star Trek.
here's one of the other things I'll go ahead and let our audience know. I'm the only one who has actually watched this episode recently and multiple times, which is one of the reasons why I get upset with the fact that I've messed up a lot of things. But it's all good. We're totally off script now, so you know. Anyways,
Yes.
we're gonna
Yes.
start with Counselor Troy, aka Luke, who just beamed down to Tasha Yar, who is currently speaking with the director of the facility.
As soon as we're talking with him, I'm gonna go ahead and get my scanner ability going.
He is Administrator Zorn. So yes, Counselor Troy, aka Luke, has just beamed down into Administrator Zorn's office, and currently, Lieutenant Yar is just sort of talking to him, trying to find out just some general information about their construction methods, because as has been previously stated, some of the stuff here does not make sense for them to have been able to do, because this particular planet has a boon in geothermic energy. That does not entirely translate to, a lot of the stuff that's in this system, that's in this station.
Yeah, I still love the whole thing of how do they have apples?
Yeah, basically. So Counselor Troy, you beam in and you decide that
Mhm.
you want to activate your scanner ability immediately.
Mhm.
All right. I need you to roll because
Mhm.
there is something that's extra here, and honestly, you're actually going to be rolling on your willpower.
How fun.
Mhm.
So um and if you have not listened to our episodes before,
Mhm.
I have not given my players their character sheets because, for one, they themselves have sort of a Swiss cheese brain, and for two, they have no idea what their current character is able to do.
That
Um,
would be an 8.
An 8.
Yep.
Okay. You're about to learn something interesting. You get a full success. Now, if you recall, there's failing, which is 6 and under. Then you get
Mm-hmm.
a general success, like a success with a caveat for 7 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 or higher is a flat success. And then of course if you roll 2 6s, then you get a crit success. But you
Mm-hmm.
have a flat success. That means that you have at least +2 to your willpower.
Ooh. Nice.
So yeah, as they play, each time that they're going through this, they learn more things about themselves and about their characters based upon things that they do. Alright, so what you get when you come in and you activate your scanner ability. First and foremost, you get somewhat indignance from this guy, from Administrator Zorn.
Mm-hmm.
Like he Oh, but you got the full success too, which means that you actually also note that that behind the indignance is actually fear that you guys are going to be, basically there's some fear of, like the fear of disappointment, the fear of disappointing someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I'm trying to say. Behind the indignance, there is a fear of disappointing.
Gotcha.
In particular, disappointing Starfleet. But the thing that you really notice, and the thing that you had to roll for, out of the emotions that you have sent so far, this is by far the strongest emotion. It almost feels like it's just coming from everywhere around you. It's that strong. Pain, loneliness, terrible loneliness, despair.
Okay.
Okay. And there's probably no way for me to summon Sprite to figure out what that's about without them noticing.
It is very close where you currently are. Like I said, it feels so massive that it almost feels like it's coming from.
Is it coming from like
But
a
it
general direction?
is stronger below you.
Hmm. Interesting.
Um.
Nothing I can
Now
do about that right now.
you managed to get a full success on your
Mm.
willpower roll, so you did not actually show any signs that you were overly disturbed. Lieutenant Yar is like, Counselor Troy, everything okay?
I'm getting a reading from something below, but I just don't know what it is.
Well, Ensign Rhodes and Lieutenant LaForge went ahead and have been looking around at some things. Perhaps you can talk to them? Administrator, do you have any issues with that? Of course not. We do nothing wrong here. I do not even understand why you brought a Betazoid to these proceedings.
Alright.
Again,
Alright.
you sense the indignance from him, but behind it, he's afraid that something is going to be found out. That's going to disappoint.
Is there okay? Is there any way I can write that down without him seeing it? Just kind of like slide her the note. That way she has an idea to where I start asking him questions.
You do not have anything on you that could do.
Shoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are
Wait.
very not. They're very like. That's actually something. Now that you're thinking about it, you've noticed that there has been literally no pencil, paper, or pens anywhere that you have seen.
Welcome to Star Trek.
Man, all right, then I guess I'm gonna hit blow then.
Administrator Zorn goes, "No, I am not sure that I like any of this. In fact, if this keeps up, if you keep on acting like we are wrong in what we have tried to do to create a wonderful environment for you, then we might have to take our dealings elsewhere. Perhaps the Ferengi."
Oh my god.
Lieutenant Yar, now hold on. Let's not jump to conclusions. She's not saying that you've done anything wrong, but you're acting as though you have. Perhaps we should let you go do some dealings with the Ferengi. I mean, it might save us some headaches and, honestly, cause you a lot more.
Ouch, that was cold.
Um, as she says that, she goes ahead and walks out, and you get the sensation from her as she's leaving that she was meaning for that to be a drop mic moment, and is hoping that you're going to follow her.
Of course.
Down in the lower areas, Ensign Rhodes, you have been speaking with the little blue girl that has appeared, and you are the only one able to see her.
Yes. I went off to a side panel as Jordy's checking further down. And I'm having a conversation with the little blue girl. And just as confused as I can be. So yeah, I look
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, and okay. So what is your name again?
Oh, my name is Sprite.
Sprite.
It's
Okay.
wonderful to be able to meet you one more time.
Th-
I'm sorry that I'm not as helpful as...
Okay. All right. Can you tell me the situation where you are? What's happening on that, on that end? Like, what's going on?
All we know is that there's been a communication blackout with the outside world. We're uncertain exactly the extent of it. All we know is that when it occurred, you and Luke were both inside, and as far as we can tell, you both were in the same place. That's why I was sent in to try and date with both. Have you managed to figure out who each of you are?
At this point, I got a general idea of who Luke is, seeing as our kind, Q kind of just pulled two people out of time and just went, "Yeah, I want to talk to you two." So since one was me and the other was Deanna Troy, I'm assuming Luke is in Troy.
Yes, that is exactly correct.
All right, I'm glad I figured that part out. So,
As you are speaking, Lieutenant LaForge returns and well, I think I've got some good readings here, but this is all very strange. I think we should try and get up to the ship so that we can have some of this analyzed.
Okay, okay. What did you find, unusual so far with your readings?
Well, everything seems to be not exactly built. It's peculiar, and that's why I want to check some of these readings with the ship's computer, because I can't even come up with a way that this building style would work.
Interesting. Have you seen any loose building materials anywhere? I've been
None.
looking.
None at all.
So,
As you guys are talking, I would like you to roll a... This will be an athletic agility roll.
Uh-oh.
sure, why
We're
not?
gonna run into something else.
fact, I would like both of you to do that.
Okay. Give me 1 second. That's a 5.
I got 7.
All right. I'm gonna tell you something. Yes. All right, Sam. If
Mm-hmm.
you would like to re-roll that 1, you have athlete under your skills and can do that. You have learned something.
You know what? Fine, fine, sure. Let's do that. Let's
Here
re-roll
comes the
that
2.
one.
I am
All
sorry
right.
to tell you that your 5 just means that you are all flat on your
So those numbers. Now I have a
You
10.
have a 10 now. You have full success. The ground starts shaking as some energy shot hits where you are, like around where you are, not exactly where you are, but like
Okay.
there's
Adjacent
there's
hallway.
an abandoned city near where you guys are,
Okay.
and this energy shot, it's just like bombardment is just hitting this old city. um Now,
Really?
Counselor Troy, you're not as close, but you also got a 5 on your agility roll. Therefore, you fall. Typically in Offworlders, you do not have to roll for the you do not have to roll for the NPCs, but I'm gonna do that anyways. I feel confident in Natasha Yar's ability to not look bad here. And yeah, she got a 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
So,
she managed to stabilize herself, and she also went to try and grab you to keep you from falling and hurting yourself.
that's
mhm.
fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna say Administrator Zoran fell.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not even gonna give him a roll. I'm just gonna say he fell. Zorn falls on his ass. Counselor Troy almost falls, but Lieutenant Yar manages to catch her and help her back to her feet. Ensign wrote. I didn't roll for Jordy.
No,
Jordy, Jordy, how did you do with this?
I have a feeling a 12 is
Hey,
coming.
not too bad, not too bad.
I said Jordy's fine.
Jordy did okay. Got an 8. So he didn't he stumbled, but he didn't fall.
There you go.
Um, and he runs to the entrance where you guys came in,
I'm following him.
and that's where you are able to see that there are these bombarding shots coming down on what Jordy would say that that's the old city.
Okay.
You, because you just popped in and have not learned anything about any of this stuff because you've just been having to go full speed as soon as you got in, do not know
Exactly.
anything about that.
Yeah, my response is literally to tap on my comm badge and to go, Enterprise, what
There,
shooting at the
a new ship just came into orbit and it's firing down upon the old city. As far as we know, there's no inhabitants there right now, but we're trying to decide what we're going to do.
All
Uh,
right.
I think all of you need to get back up here now.
I understood.
That goes like when he says that, it hits all of your communicators.
Ladies. Go.
So Luke, you hear that last part as well.
Yeah. And I
Is,
just understood.
is there no spare
And
time? I just got on the trail of something and I'd like to investigate it for a little bit more if possible.
um all right. So in that case, Lieutenant Yara is going to tap her communicator, like, sir, the counselor has told me that she is sensing something down here and she wants to investigate it a little bit further. If anything gets more dangerous, immediately contact the transporter team.
I can work with that.
As you guys are talking, Zorn vanishes in a beam of light. Vanishes.
Okay.
It does not look like the transporters that you have seen, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
So you can definitely be sure that it was not from your ship. All right.
Okay.
Ensign Rhodes, do you have any issues going up?
Oh no, I'm good going up now.
Right.
Something's literally shooting at the planet. My character be fine going back up to the ship.
All right. So, Lieutenant LaForge and Ensign Rhodes both beam up. Sprite's not around right now.
I would understand since something's bombarding the planet. Hologram doesn't want to be.
Once Administrator Zorn is gone, Tasha taps her communicator again and goes, "Commander, Zorn just vanished. Did someone transport him up there?" No one transported Zorn. All we got was Lieutenant LaForge and Ensign Rhodes. All right. Well, there's something strange going on here. I'm gonna give you 30 minutes to investigate. After that, both of you get back up here. We need to figure out what's going on.
I guess we better get moving then.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and pop up to the ship while you guys travel. Ensign Rhodes. You get back to the ship, and what are you doing? You get back up to the ship. You're in the transporter room.
Okay, all right.
You're in the transporter room with LaForge and a couple of people who worked, a couple of the transporters.
Yes, yes. So I look at Jordan and go, okay. So I think we should probably go to the bridge and confer with the rest of the officers about what we found.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
So he actually is waiting for you to lead the way because,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know we don't have insight checks in this, but
yeah,
you're the one that's supposed to have been here.
yeah. So yeah, I think at this point I did find my way to the transporter, so I think I can find my way tracing back to where I was. At least that's fair enough. I could have started in the actual bridge, which is also why I suggested the bridge because I don't know where anything else is.
Ensign Rhodes,
Yes.
I am going to ask for an intelligence roll because
I want to pass.
you have only been from the bridge to the transporter room one time.
Yes.
He left a trail of breadcrumbs before he got before he went to the transporter.
All right, let's see what I get here.
All right.
All right, got a 6. So if I have a plus to anything, I hope I make this.
All right. You pass with caveat. Means that you have at least a +1.
All right, there we go. That's something.
At least you didn't lead him to the bathroom.
So yeah, you pass with a caveat. The caveat is you remember that if you ask the computer to guide you somewhere, it'll do it.
Oh, yes. That is true.
but it is not subtle with how it does it.
Yeah, yeah. I think in the show it just does, flashing
Yeah,
lights.
there's flashing green arrows on the computer panels on the walls.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, it was one of the reasons why I like the show because I'm like, it's one of the few reasons I could go, yeah, you have children on this actual ship. So if they want to get somewhere, don't know how to get somewhere, the ship can literally point them to where they want to go.
Yep.
Follow the green arrow, child.
All right. Now, again, there is no real insight. If you want to roll something to find out what Jordy might be feeling, I believe it's another intelligence roll.
Sure.
If you want to, if you just want to go with what you feel like he's probably thinking, that's probably good instincts too.
Yeah.
So you go up to the computer and you tell the computer to take you to the bridge, the lift to the bridge,
Yes.
and the computer starts flashing the green arrows and guides you that way, and Lieutenant LaForge follows.
Uh-huh.
And you guys eventually get to the bridge. On the bridge, Commander Riker is standing looking over Data's shoulder. And on the screen, this is what you see, not the Enterprise. The giant ship that is like 5 times the Enterprise size.
Like I said, I'm guessing these are the guys that don't want us to find out what's going on down there.
So when I get aboard, when I get to the bridge, I look at Riker and I go, have they held us yet, or are they just continuously firing?
We have been trying to get to hail them on all frequencies. They have stopped firing, but I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't recognize that kind of ship.
And your favorite person pops in next to you, dressed as a Starfleet officer.
Oh, the joys.
I should think it's obvious what you should do at this point. And Commander Riker says, make sure we have photon torpedoes ready. Of course. You see something new, and so of course you destroy it.
Right now, that's just a precaution. But I'm trying to see if I can communicate with it first.
Riker says, we've tried hailing, we've tried scanning it, but everything we do just seems to bounce off it.
Interesting.
And like the ensign said, speaking to Q now, the photon torpedoes are just a precaution. Of course, a precaution to you, but you do not even seem to begin to comprehend what that appears like to others. The ship fires something at you, at the Enterprise.
Uh-huh.
But it is not damaging.
Okay.
It happens, and then afterwards, Riker goes, What just happened? And Worf replies, sensors say we were just scanned, sir.
They scanned us. Wonder what it's looking for.
There's no computer record of such a vessel, sir. Nothing even close. And pretty much it's just seeming to ignore you. Go
Why don't you
ahead.
go ahead and fire at it and see what happens?
I ain't firing at something until I need to.
All right.
especially when that something is so much bigger than we are.
All right. While Sam thinks about what he's gonna do up there, we're gonna drop back down to Farpoint. Counselor Troy and Lieutenant
Mm-hmm.
Yar have entered the corridors underneath the station. That presence that you felt before, I need
Mm-hmm.
another willpower roll.
Well, look at you. I went ahead and rolled while that was all going on. I'm sitting here looking at an 11.
11. Okay.
11.
So again, you are able to manage yourself very well, but it is such unhappiness and terrible despair that you cannot even begin to understand why anything could ever get to the point where they feel this strongly about anything, and it is uncomfortable to you. Even though you managed to succeed on the roll, I'm still gonna have you take 1 point of damage.
Ooh.
You succeeded and still got hurt.
Yeah, imagine what would have happened if he had not succeeded.
Was unconscious, lying in the hallway, twitching.
And then that would probably be where Bar would have probably beamed us back up.
All right.
The search would have ended.
So, what are you up to?
Which way is it coming from?
It is.
Since I'm down below now.
If you didn't know any better, you were currently inside of a being.
Like
If you didn't know
inside of
any better,
something living.
yeah, if you didn't know any better, because of how strong this thing is and how just vast it is, you would think that you were inside of it.
I'm gonna mention it to Far and see what she thinks.
I'm not sure. As far as I can tell, we're just inside of a corridor. I don't see anything. But she does pull her little phaser out. I don't know if you've actually learned what that's called yet, but she does
Mm-hmm.
pull her phaser out so that she's ready for whatever she believes might be coming.
Alright, is there more than one way to head forward, or is it just straight forward
I
down the
mean,
corridor?
there's some corridors. You can you actually would have the ability to pull up a map on or no, Tasha would be able to pull up a map on her little tricorder.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's do that and let's head straight as far as we can, and then once we hit a dead end going straight, we'll start going left.
Essentially, you walk through these things for a while, and eventually you get to the point where you feel like you should have reached the time that you were supposed to go back.
Alright, I'll ask her, does you want to go back or you want to keep investigating?
I think even though you're supposed to be, one of the ones trying to figure this out, it
Mm-hmm.
might be a good idea to.
It can't hurt since this place is being fired on. Let's go down one more corridor, and if we don't find nothing, we'll beam back up.
All right, you go down another corridor, and it's more of the same. Now, I'm going to ask you to roll another willpower roll because of
Alrighty.
how long you've been in this place.
That'd be a 6.
All right, that is going to be a partial success.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to roll a 1d6 damage.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
If it was a fail, I was going to roll 2.
Oh, that would really hurt.
All right, so you're taking 2 more damage.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and beam back up.
All right.
How is the health in this system working out to be? Like,
So far, like, Luke, you're feeling uncomfortable, but you don't feel like you're on death's door or anything. You feel
Mhm.
like you have an especially bad headache.
Gotcha.
Oh, fun.
Like, to the point where some people would be like, I need to go and just lie down for the rest of the day.
So I'm pretty sure once I see that ship, that's not going to be a possibility.
Alright, so you guys get back up. You guys, teleport back up,
Mm-hmm.
and we're hopping back over to the bridge.
I'm going to make a stop at somewhere where I can speak to Sprite by myself and see if she knows anything about what was up with that.
Okay, well, we're gonna
So
go
I'm
back
going
to
to
the
head to
bridge because you were doing stuff for about 30 minutes.
Well,
The
in
ship
that time,
has not been firing on anything else.
I'm gonna ask Data to see if he can scan the area where the ship was firing.
Um,
I want
Ooh.
to know what it was actually trying to fire at in specific.
all right. We'll scan that area and come to the conclusion that there were no life forms in that area
Okay, so it
because
was
it
not
was the
trying to
old city.
see it, so they weren't trying to harm anyone. So back into
And
this.
the blasts that were being used were interesting because they weren't like photon torpedoes or ray or energy beams or anything like that. It was blasts of pure energy.
Pure energy,
Yes.
Hmm.
really. So they were doing this to an area where no one was going to get hurt, but they were doing it to an area to try to fuel it,
I mean, it was
to
destroy
power it.
like it was bombing the area. Like it was definitely bombing an area, but think instead of like missiles and lasers, think Iron Man's propulsor blast.
Gotcha, gotcha. Interesting. Why would alien race just decide to bombard a vacant area with no purpose?
Unless they were trying to hide something.
Interesting. They're not doing it to a crowded area.
Riker speaks up. I just got word that the transporter chief just brought Counselor Troy and Lieutenant Yar back up. They should be on their way here now.
Okay.
Officers, including Ensign Rhodes at this point, please meet in the ready room. We need to discuss something.
Yes, sir.
I tell her to go ahead and go there. I'm going to head to my room really quick because I need to grab something, and then I'll head right to the ready room after that.
Lieutenant Yar looks a little wary, but alright, just be quick about it. We need to figure
Actually,
out what's going on here. We need to get our captain back. So she goes ahead and heads off.
okay, once she's far enough to where she can't see me, I will try to summon Sprite back to see if she knows anything about what just happened.
You call for Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
And on the computer in front of you, on the wall, Sprite pops up and goes, "Hello, Luke. Everything okay? Have you managed to figure out what's going on yet?"
Not yet, but we have this weird ship that's firing energy beams down onto the planet, which I don't know anything else about it besides the energy beams that got fired.
It is
And
interesting.
when I was down there investigating the lower corridors, it felt like I was inside a living creature.
It is interesting. I don't know exactly how this is happening because we are still disconnected from the outside world, but for some reason, as you keep moving through this, more of the original script is revealed to us.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, I believe the answers will actually reveal themselves if you go ahead and go to the bridge.
Gotcha. All right. I just wanted to ask you really quick, see if you knew what was going on. And has the internet has the connection been restored yet, or is that still something
Unfortunately,
you're working on?
unfortunately we are still on.
All right. I'm gonna head to the bridge, and if I need you again, I'll just call for you. Thank you.
All right, Sam should be up there.
Yep. I'm heading my way there now.
All right. So you have a little bit more understanding about the ship, but you also just wandered around for a while. So I'm gonna ask you to do an intelligence roll to remember your way to the bridge.
Oh yeah, that's a fail. That's a good old 3.
Yeah, even with stuff, even with giving you some stuff like
That's a no.
yeah, that is a no. I will let you re-roll the lowest die using tech
Okay.
because I feel like you would remember about the way that you can use the computer.
Okay. Because one of
And
those
speaking of
was
which, you now know that you have tech as a skill.
all right. So instead of a 3, I re-rolled. I had a 2, and I re-rolled a 1. Now it's a 7 because I rolled a 5.
All right. So yeah,
All right.
you you remember that you can indeed talk to the computer to access a way to guide you to the bridge.
And I'll do that.
All right. So it takes you a minute to fully remember everything you're supposed to do with it, but you get it, and you get back to the elevator. So Riker walks in. Q walks in in a very similar fashion as Riker,
Of
pretty much
course.
mocking him.
Of course. That's all great.
Worf walks in, and I'll do that in a sec. Um, I'll actually have Data walk in first. Data walks in, sits down at the computer, um, and brings up the viewer and everything. And you walk in. What do you do?
I walk in and I take a seat.
And then Worf walks in and goes, "Commander, you like me to escort this man off out of the ready room?" No, no, Lieutenant. I don't think we could, even if we wanted to. Well, apparently someone's starting to learn. And then Jordy comes in and sits down as well. All right. What all do we know so far? What did you find out in those corridors?
Well, those corridors are very unusual.
Yeah, the construction style, like I've never seen anything like it. It almost seems like everything was just created that way. I couldn't find seams or any sign of construction at all.
Yeah.
I worked with Data over here when we first got up here to try and figure out something, and neither of us were able to come up with any construction style that matched it at all.
I also found
And
something else that was unusual. Apparently, on this planet, which I know we haven't really done that much trade with them, but they apparently have apple pie.
yes, I was in the administrator's office, and I asked for an apple, and the apple just appeared. I swear it was not there a minute ago. Then, when I was talking with Dr. Crusher about the events, one of the materials that she was wanting just came to be. It's almost as if the place was trying to please us.
Yes, that is a way to put that.
Alright. Lieutenant Yar enters. Did you and Counselor Troy find out anything? Where is Deanna anyways? She had some issues while she was down there, and I think she had to go and get something from her room to manage it. Said she'll be here in a moment. Well, what all did you find out? She said that it felt as though the presence that she was feeling was all around her. I don't exactly know what Betazoid thinking is like, but that doesn't sound normal, does it? No, it doesn't.
Technically, there is.
As you are walking through the bridge, you do get a glimpse of the spaceship out the viewer.
Is it too far for
And
me to get in
go,
with my bed?
yeah, go ahead.
Alrighty, this roll is better. That's an 8.
All right, you look at that, and there are two conscious entities there.
Mm-hmm.
One is overwhelming, similar to the one that you felt when you were in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, you got a full success. So yeah, the other one is Zorn.
Hmm. I'll make a note to when I get to the ready room to tell everybody that.
That's important too.
All right. First, I'll say on the way here to the bridge from the ship that's doing whatever it's doing, I felt two consciousnesses. The feeling I felt when I was below, and then Zorn's also on that ship.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. The feeling was as strong as the one from below, but it was of anger,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a difference.
but
Gotcha.
also pride for, I think, in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
you accomplish a task that you set your mind
Mm-hmm.
to get vengeance on somebody. It's sort
Mm-hmm.
of that feeling.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask somebody to scan the building, but don't scan it as if it was a building. Scan it for life force. The building we were just in.
All right, I will do that. Data taps a few keys on the keyboard, and the ship sends down a scan. Interesting. It is similar to what happens when we try to scan the ship in front of us. It bounces off all scanners.
Hmm.
So the building that we were just in and the ship in front of us are related.
That would appear so.
Can I try to scan
Alright.
the ship again?
You already got what you could get just then.
Gotcha.
Um,
What about me scanning the planet?
I mean, you kind of got what you could there too. Alright. Well, since for whatever reason, our friend here has decided that Counselor Troy and Ensign Rhodes are the ones that have to figure out these things. I'm going to ask that both of you, accompanied by Lieutenant Data and Lieutenant Yar and Lieutenant LaForge, all transport over to that ship and find out what in the hell's going on here.
Oh, fun.
Understood.
Can do.
Now, this is a dangerous mission, so if any of you would like to back out, that is of course understandable. And he looks at you, Luke, in particular,
Mm-hmm.
and you sense in him um protectiveness. Like he's saying these
Mm-hmm.
words, but he is not entirely wanting to send you.
He says these words, but in his brain, the backwards mind is going, please don't go. Please stay here where you won't die.
My abilities will be needed over there. So I ain't got a choice but to go.